What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to talk about some very important levels to watch for some hypothetical situations for the markets. Let me just mention that I am not a financial planner. Make sure you take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link. The offer ends very soon. Deposit $100 and you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. You deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total. So what's happening to the market so far is actually very interesting. If you look at SPY, we're actually holding up quite decently. But with this uptrend has been established in this bullish looking wedge, this does open the door for more upside potential later on. However, I wouldn't necessarily just bet on it just exploding just like this. To really see this push, we need to watch for a very, very big confirmation. That's going to be a break of some new structure. So I'm going to talk about what that break is and some very important levels. Just remember one important thing. There's not really much data coming out for today. We have Kugler from the Fed giving a speech at 2:45 p.m. And besides that, there's not really much else coming out. Now, on top of that, I also want to mention that going into tomorrow, we just have like a couple of Fed speakers, some housing data, manufacturing numbers. It's all very minor. There's nothing too crazy coming out. Even the Fed Beige Book is not that crazy. So I'm not seeing too much data. The market has some like leeway, and this does open the doors for more like price action based off manipulation and other factors like that, and less data-based price action that's happening for the next couple of days. So what do I see for this moving forward? Here's my answer. SPY has a bullish pattern that's developing right here. So this does have potential to lead to a breakout, but we have to break past 565 for confirmation. If we break 565, I think this is going all the way up to at least 568. If we end up losing this blue trend line of support, we're going to be dipping back down towards at least 561.69. If that fails us, we're dipping all the way down to 560. So make sure you watch those levels. Breaking 560, I think, would be confirmation of a bearish break, and SPY is going to be dropping really hard all the way down towards, I would say, 558 at the very least, if not below that. So lose 561.69, that's going to be a sign of weakness, and we could turn more bearish, especially if we lose the blue trend line. If we break 565, however, we turn more bullish, and then this bullish wedge is going to play out. Remember these numbers going into tomorrow and beyond. That's going to be the confirmation of a breakout. That's kind of like the range that SPY has. We're stuck within a range, so break 565 and we turn really bearish. Break 565 and we turn bullish, not bearish. We turn very, very bullish. And if we lose 561.69, we turn bearish. So remember that, guys. As of right now, SPY is kind of consolidating, but there is potential in this. I'm seeing some potential in this setup as of right now. For Nvda, we have a bit of a downtrend right over here. We actually had this high right here that was established, this imbalance, and we failed to fill this. We actually got a big rejection here. So there's a possible head and shoulders like structure, and we're actually seeing some weakness in tech. Now, what's worth noting is that when you look at stocks like Nvda, like Apple, that are looking kind of lackluster, even the triple Q, a lot of this is happening because we're seeing a big rotation right now. If you look at the IWM to the Russell 2000, we're starting to see small caps pushing really, really nicely. Small caps are gaining strength. The IWM, the Russell's still very strong, but then we're starting to see stocks like the QQQ and also some tech stocks looking a little bit more lackluster. So money is kind of exiting tech right now. There's actually a big rotation, and it's getting moved into the small caps. That's why we're starting to see this big shift right here. So make sure you watch the levels I called out for all of these. Going back to Nvidia, I'm still seeing a risk of downside, but we need confirmation. If we do end up closing below 125, there'll be a bigger rug pull. Otherwise, we're just kind of consolidating near this area. We have resistance currently around 128, and we have support at 125. Might just consolidate for the time being. There is a head and shoulders, so just be careful. There is some risk of downside to Nvidia unless we lose key support, especially. Looking at Bitcoin, we're looking a little bit more bullish. We're actually still trying to break out right here, which is a little bit ironic. So I'm looking at 65,000 as resistance. If this breaks, we're going up to about 66,000. Bitcoin has more upside potential if we break the 65,000 resistance. So watch for that very carefully. On top of all of this, I just want to mention that for Tesla, I know a lot of people are interested in this one. We have a bit of a downtrend that's being established. So watch these levels. If we manage to break past 255, this could be a breakout through resistance. If that breaks, watch 260. Breaking 260 would turn us back to bullish. We were in the 270s, and now we're actually in the 250s. So there's been a bit of a drop on Tesla. We have this little flag that's forming, so watch this range, and we'll see if we get a break or not. I do think Tesla's going to try to push a little bit higher towards our 20 EMA, the 255 area. But then we'll have to see if we get a rejection or not. There's a bit of a downtrend being established, so we'll see if we get a breakout or not. So be very, very patient, at least for now. On top of this, I think that we're going to push a little bit higher, but there is a downtrend that's still being established right now. So there's no confirmation of Tesla getting a breakout quite yet. It just kind of bounced off support. So the trend is more bearish on Tesla, but it is worth noting it may go a little bit higher, but the overall trend is still favoring downside as of right now, unless we break 255 and then 258, I would say. For the QQQ, there's a possible head and shoulders like structure. Once again, tech is looking a little bit weaker. We're struggling to break past our hourly 20 EMA, that 496 area. I want to see it break past 496 points to have some potential for upside, and even 498. Because we struggle to break that range, because we struggle to break through those areas, we're showing some weakness. So this can actually lead to a little bit of downside all the way back down to 494. And if that fails us, we'll be dipping all the way down towards 492. So I'll be watching that very carefully. There's a head and shoulder, so I see a risk. Probably watch to see if that ends up being the case or not. For Aapl looks a little bit more bearish. We have 235.5 as resistance, and we've supported 234. If that fails us, we're going all the way down to 232.5, and then eventually this imbalance, which is where we have this gap to fill. So Aapl is showing a little bit of weakness on the 4-hour time frame and also the hourly. I think we may be dipping all the way down to 232, so watch for that. There's a little bit of weakness developing. We'll have to see if we end up losing 234 or not, but I am seeing that perpetuating. For Supermicro, we have resistance all the way up here around 898, and we have support currently at 882. We're just range bound, going back and forth and back and forth. So we're kind of stuck right now on Supermicro. As you guys can see, it's been going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I might try to push a little bit higher towards 900, and then we'll see what kind of reaction we get. I'm still waiting for that. For the IWM, like I said earlier, it's looking more bullish. Going to be looking for a test of 222. 222.5 is our resistance. We are kind of like fighting this tougher resistance here, so it could actually retrace back down to about 220.5, just continuing to shuffle. But even if it does retrace just a little bit, completely fine. It is still on a strong uptrend. I think it's going to continue to push higher later on. For Coinbase, looks more bullish. We had this gap to fill right here. We also bounced off this trend line. So I'm going to be looking for a target of 250. The chart still looks bullish with a nice double bottom. So 250 is going to be a potential target. Looks like it's favoring upside for now. Amazon's not looking that great. We tried to break out above 196 only to reject off our 200 EMA. Watch support at 193.89. If we lose this, we'll be dipping back down to about 192.5. And we have resistance around 195. So it's kind of pushing only to reject back down. Might be a little dip coming, so watch for that very carefully. For Meta, we're seeing a bit of a rejection right over here. We could continue to fall even lower. So I'll be looking for a move all the way back down here towards 485. I find that to be a little bit more probable. So watch for that. For Microsoft, we're seeing a bit of a rejection here. We have resistance at this 450 area, and we actually have this support all the way down here towards 446. So I see a risk of this dipping a little bit lower. We had this high here, and we're making lower highs, lower lows, lower low here, lower high, another lower low is being made. It might dip a little bit lower. I've seen some risk of us dipping down to about 446. Google's also dipping a little bit. We could be dipping down towards 187. If that fails, this will be dipping down to this imbalance around 186 flat. So watch for 187.4, then 186. We're looking a little bit more bearish. Now, despite that, GameStop's on a nice uptrend. We were talking about this. Make sure you watch support at 27.1. We could retrace to test that. If we bounce up that, we're going to continue higher. If we lose that, we'll be retracing back down to 26. I think 27.1 could be tested, and we could continue to push up even higher from here. I think the chart suggests we could be going all the way up to at least 29 plus. Looks more bullish to me. And AMC is also trying to rebound. We need to try to close above, in my opinion, 5.35. If we close above at 5.35, this could try to rebound, start pushing higher tomorrow and beyond. So we'll see how it goes. But with that being said, guys, I want to thank you all so much for listening. That's it for my quick update on the markets. We're seeing some tech stocks looking kind of weak. SPYs, obviously, it has a bullish pattern, but it's not really breaking out yet. It's still kind of consolidating. And there are other stocks out there like Tesla that are trying to push higher, but they have downtrends that are being established right here. So you want to be very, very careful. But with that being said, I just want to thank you all so much for listening. I hope you guys have a great day. Enjoy what life has to offer. And I'll see you guys very soon on the next one in just about another couple of hours. So take care, guys, and peace out.